Welcome everybody back to the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. I'm your host Adam Cousins, and we are talking territories again today. But you'll notice that there is somebody unfortunately missing this evening. Our wonderful NWA co-host, Miss Fiona Loughran, up in Scotland, has unfortunately come down with COVID. Well, she says COVID. I mean, Scotland were knocked out of the European Football Championships yesterday, so it could be something to do with that, or soccer, as my guest will probably more appreciate the wording. But our guest today is somebody that's, well, he's in the territories. He's also had a few little stints at AEW and some other promotions that we'd like to talk about. It is Anthony Catena. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me, Adam. Thank you.
And we had mentioned before we went on air that he is wearing a top that is actually quite interesting. Progress Wrestling. So Lee, if you're watching, he is repping your merch. You know, you have shows.
Just for you, Lee. Just for you.
Just for Lee. Obviously, we're partners and proud partners of Progress Wrestling this year. But Anthony, welcome and thank you for starters for coming on. Let's just talk about you. What's your 2024 been like for you this year?
Ah, man, it's been certainly pretty busy. With the addition of the NWA territories,
Yes,
working NWA tapings as well, and just being able to travel around, dude. I actually just moved back home to my home state, my hometown of Dallas, Texas. Um, I've been on the road pretty much. I mean, for as long as I can remember, just going town to town, whether it's sleeping in my car or crashing on some dude's couches or whatever I could do. Been out to the UK, wrestled over there. Been fortunate for that, and so it's been a lot. But I'm glad to be back home and working consistently the way that I am, and got some cool things coming up in the next month or so.
looking forward to hearing and seeing that. Anthony, for sure. Over here in the UK, how did you find it? What did you think of the UK scene?
Oh, dude, I loved it. I really, really did. I actually got to train with Marty Jones over
Yeah.
there. And everybody over here on the States, what I realized quickly is that everybody here on the States, they all talk about Johnny Saint,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
That's like the guy that everybody points to. And then when I went over there, everybody was like, Marty Jones, Marty Jones, Marty Jones. That was the guy that everybody got a little bit from. And Marty's attention to detail and just having, even to this day, still being able to innovate and think of new creative ways to just go about handling yourself, whether it's in the ring or get preparing for a show, what have you. It is pretty impeccable. Considering he's like an old school guy, but he has a lot of he still, man, is very innovative and very creative. And I really enjoyed it over there in the UK, and I was fortunate to work with several different companies over there, over in Wales and Essex. I even had, I guess you could call it a progress debut. It was for Gene Mooney's or Gene Money's, whichever way you want to
Gene
pronounce
Money,
it.
the damn dirty
Yeah,
dog.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he had like I think it was the very first show that he did for it, where it was like the Death Lab, Death I can't remember what it was called, but it was like I I call it like a murder mystery wrestling show.
Okay.
And they I just showed up, no joke. I just showed up and they needed somebody to be a cop, right? To like play two cops. And they needed somebody to be the murderer. So they got us cop costumes, right? And I was way too big. And like I wear like probably like a 3X in that, and they only had like a large. So they were like, all right, you're gonna be the murderer for the show. So that was it was definitely a an interesting debut. Probably the best debut I've had to date with any company. So I'm very fortunate for that. And and Lee was great to me. Gene was great. And I just loved everybody over there for the short time that I was there for that 1 or 2 days. It was a lot of fun. So I do appreciate that. And that's why I'm repping them today. That's why I'm repping them.
He's repping the progress. I was actually going to wear my Super Strong style T-shirt until I realized it was in the wash. So I'm
You
stuck
should
with
have,
the
man.
club.
We get
See today.
Yeah, we should have coordinated it.
Should have
Yeah.
coordinated
Next
better
time.
next time. Out of interest, you said you wrestled in Essex. Who for?
Oh man, the great Paul Tyrell over at SOS Wrestling. He
SOS.
is you want to talk about again, this is what I love so much about the UK culture was just everybody is just constantly trying to be innovative. Dean Allmark, same situation. Just everybody is um, just constantly trying to outdo one another. And I think that here in the U.S., I think that is a very lost concept from what it was when there was a Chris Hero and a CM Punk and Tyler Black on the independent scene, Josh Abercrombie. They were constantly trying to outdo one another, and I feel today there's a lot of that's kind of lacking here in America. And I feel this is why I like international stuff, especially over in the UK. It's just constantly dudes trying to be creative, trying to be innovative, trying to do what the last person didn't do. So I really enjoyed it. I really really enjoyed it. A lot of good dudes over there too.
Yeah, there is for sure. Essex is my hometown, so that's why I was asking
Oh wow, okay,
that.
awesome, awesome.
Small world. Is that why?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. Is that why do you think that more British guys are being signed up to the States now? I mean, obviously Will Ospreay's just gone to AEW. Leon Slater is well, he's probably one of the best British talents. Is at TNA. Is it more like that it's being, I don't know, is it being noticed more? Is it more innovative and America are seeing this opportunity and thinking, wow, we need that over here?
You know what, Adam? That's actually a very very good point that I haven't even necessarily thought of. I thought it was more so looking at it. I was looking at it more so in the sense of okay, well, it's so flooded with American talent
Mm.
that other people are getting opportunities. Um, but it never did really cross my mind, and I would actually lean more towards to what you're saying is that it's not necessarily that it's oversaturated market of American talent and that everybody like companies like AEW, WWE are looking elsewhere. It probably is to what you were saying is the fact that they are just over there in the UK, over in Mexico, over in Japan. They are constantly trying to reinvent and trying to evolve. And it's like the old adage goes: if you're not evolving, you're dying. And I think that that's actually a really really good point, Adam. And I mean, it's food for thought. Now you got me thinking on the fly over here. So that's a really good point, dude.
Just talking about, you mentioned AEW, it'd be reminiscent not to talk about, you had a couple of appearances in there. One of them,
Yeah.
they tag in with the legend that is Pineapple Pete, that went, that went on to wrestle Chris Jericho and everything. What was it like at AEW at that time? And obviously it was quite new at that point. It hadn't been going too long when you were there. It was on
Yeah,
dark, right?
no, it was actually I was able to be very fortunate to be there when they were actually doing their pandemic tapings
Yes.
at Daly's Place, I believe
Yeah.
it's called.
Yep.
And yeah, I was I used to train at QT's Marshall his facility, the Nightmare Factory,
Yep.
um and just being able to be there, then knowing QT from there and knowing a few other people, I was able to get kind of my foot in the door during that rough time for everybody. And and yeah, man, no, Pineapple Pete. I think you guys might know him over there as Shug Dunkerton.
Yep.
I think that's his independent name
Yes.
past AEW. Um, but dude, he's everybody that I got to work with is great over there, and I remember I even got stopped because it was against Butcher and Blake, correct?
Yeah, correct.
I
Yes.
believe
Yeah.
so. Yep. And crazy enough, I was at a bar in New Hampshire, and somebody recognized me because I believe that Butcher or Blade or both of them, I'm not too sure. One of them's in a band
Yes.
and or like the lead singer of a band or something like that. And I actually got noticed because of his band. He had some fans that were like saw he was doing wrestling stuff and then saw me, and that was like kind of like one of those things of 6 degrees of separation or whatnot, you know. So that was pretty cool. Um, and I'm trying to remember the other time that I was there. Oh, I got to wrestle formerly known as George Joel.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember the other guy's name, but I know Jorah from when he was Robo back in we one of the guys I started with in New England. So at Killer Kowalski's old school. So he was always a great dude, and I've had nothing but good times when I was at AEW, and getting to see Tony Khan's work ethic. Because that was the first time those 2 times were the first times that I actually got to appear on the show.
Yeah.
But I had been working previously because of uh, just knowing I had a good connection with Billy Gunn and, like I
Okay.
said, QT.
Yeah.
So I kind of was able to be there on the first, like, I think one of the first 2 episodes that they had in Boston. And I remember Tony Khan, he was it was like right around his birthday. And and these are the things that nobody like talks about is how good of a work ethic this guy has, and his vision for stuff, and just trying to push it,
Mm.
and wanting to be better. Is that I remember it was his birthday, and everybody was kind of gathered around to sing him happy birthday and give him a big cake and everything like that. And he was like, "Guys, I really appreciate it, but you know, we got a show to do, and we can celebrate afterwards." So I thought that that was like everything that you needed to know about Tony Khan's work ethic and wanting to see his creation succeed. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, definitely. So it was Angelico was the other one that was you were taking on.
Oh yes, 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 yeah.
And do you think though that that's one thing though? Because Tony Khan does get rightly or wrongly, I don't know. It's people's opinion and people are entitled to it. And you know, but that's what people don't see is that you're right. What goes on, and you can say that about anyone, Billy Corgan, Triple
Yeah.
H, whoever. You people that like even me, I will sit there and I will go on these shows week in, week out, and I tell you what I like and what I don't like. But the reality is I don't know what goes on and that goes on behind the scenes. And I think it's sometimes quite foolish of even people like me to sit
Hmm.
there and criticize or say, oh, I didn't like this, didn't like that. But you don't necessarily know the work that actually goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And I think one thing that a good friend of mine told me in wrestling, he actually works for AAW Pro, and I
Yeah.
know that you want to talk about that, so we can
Yes.
kind of transition to that. But he did tell me, and I really appreciated this. He was like, never bring up a an issue without offering a solution.
Hmm.
And I think that a lot of people, again, that's just one of those things that it's so easy to point the finger. It's so easy to say, "Hey, you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong." And then very seldom are you going to see those same people turn around and offer help or offer a solution or what have you. So I think that that is something for me personally that I try to implement if I do see an issue here. I'm not just going to approach you with an issue. I'm going to approach you with a solution to that problem or solution to that issue. And again, I think that that is something that a lot of people kind of lack. Um, so
Yeah, definitely so. But you made it a great point. AAW, this AAW Pro,
yeah,
this was something that was interesting because obviously, you know, I like to do bits of research on the people I talk to, mainly out of respect. I don't have to come on and go, don't know anything about you.
yeah.
So let's just talk,
No,
you know.
no, I appreciate that. I've had a
Um,
couple of those interviews.
I don't. I try to do. I mean, obviously, I have a shoot job and such, but I do try and at least understand a little bit about the guy that's coming on, or at least
Hmm.
talk about something that And I know I want to get to somebody else who you wrestled that I know very well in a minute. But AAW Pro, no countouts, no disqualifications, just professional wrestling. Talk to me
Hmm.
about this because obviously I've never seen it before, and I've already just when I
Yeah.
read it, I was like, I wish I could see this. What? Tell us about AEW Pro.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. I didn't know that those were the rules. I didn't know that was it. I didn't know that it was no DQ and no this countouts. So now I'm gonna add some new stuff in my repertoire next time I'm there. August 24th. That's the next show. Cheap plug right there.
Yeah, Day of
Dude,
Defiance.
no,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I honestly, I was very fortunate to so I don't know if you know this name, but it's one of those names that flies under the radar, but certainly does not get enough respect, in my opinion, is this guy Josh Abercrombie. And he was around the IWA Mid South days when Chris Hero and CM Punk and the guys like that
Yeah.
were around there. But he used to wrestle for AAW Pro, and I wrestled for him out in Michigan. And he liked what I was doing, and I told him I was interested in trying to go over to AEW. He was like, I got some people that I know over there. I'll put in the good work for you. And I went there the first day, and I got to talk with Danny Daniels and one of the other co-owners, and they knew that I was coming from Abercrombie. So I kind of got an opportunity right from the bat. Um, But as I always say, I've been afforded many opportunities, and as appreciative as I am of those, it's not about the opportunities. It's about what I do with the opportunity. And I've been able to extrapolate those into further opportunities and more to now where I'm a consistent person, running storylines with them, etc. So, um, e- every interaction I've had in AAW, especially, it really does feel like a second home for me. And one of those places that them and there's a company as well in Pittsburgh called IWC that were my first two real jumping off points that have gotten me to where I am today. And I'll forever be indebted to those people and those owners, especially for what they've given me and the platform that they've given me and the just amount of investment that they've provided to me. So I love everybody over there, and it's awesome to be able to work with them on a consistent basis.
Definitely so. I think he was part of the House of Truth in Ring of Honor, if memory serves me right, in about 2009.
Josh Abercrombie.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, I would have to go back. I've just been able to catch a few. It's one of those names that like if you bring it up to a Chris Hero,
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, he's like one of the most innovative guys. He loves them, but it's one of those names that not a lot of people. You had to have been there, or you had to have watched someone else's match to recognize the name. You know what I mean? So he, he's he what you guys consider Dean Allmark over
Yep.
there, very innovative, very creative. That's how I consider Josh Abercrombie over here stateside.
Brilliant. I'd love to see some more of it. I do vaguely remember him in Ring of Honor. I was a big Ring of Honor fan back in those days. That's where the name
Yeah,
when you first mentioned it, I was like, where have I heard it? Where have I heard it? Where have I heard it?
right. I
Ring.
think it was he was at the early inception of it as well, like when it was just starting to gain traction.
Exactly that. Let's talk NWA now. I mean, this is one of the things that we've loved on this show. We've had some great guests from the NWA. We just finished up with Aaron Stevens. My God, that was an experience.
He's
Yeah, that
awesome, man.
that
He is great.
he is
He
great.
actually, funny enough, he came from the same school that I initially trained
Oh,
at.
really?
When it was still Killer Kowalski's wrestling school over in New England. So we've been able to kind of reminisce about some of those me asking him questions on what it was like to be there with Killer and whatnot. So early days of chaotic wrestling. So that's always cool. And Aaron is such a good dude, man. Such a and very, very creative. Very knows like when to take those moments. And Aaron's awesome at that.
I was going to say actually quickly before NWA, Killer Kowalski. I mean, like we're talking NWA, and that's the lineage of that, the legacy of that. But yet, training Killer Kowalski again, the big name in wrestling. Was that sort of a
Right.
really ideal place for you to start with? I know it obviously may not have been there, but just because of the name
Yep.
itself and the behind it, that lineage yourself.
Well, yeah, 100%. I remember the whole. I was originally supposed to go to a another school and in New Jersey, and like with no joke, probably within like maybe 2 weeks, because I was moving. I graduated high school early, so I could at 17, so I could go and start wrestling. Yeah, I knew what I wanted to do, and
Yeah.
school was not it. So I knew I wanted to become a professional wrestler and do something in the entertainment realm. And I was originally supposed to go to school in New Jersey, and then I think about 2 or 3 weeks before I was supposed to leave, I found New England Pro Wrestling Academy, and it was actually right after Sasha Banks had gotten signed from that facility, and there was just something kind of one of those divine things where kind of it was just I don't even remember how I found out about it, but it was just I found this school and I saw that she had just come from there. I saw that they were getting people signed, and then I obviously backtracked and saw all the people that had been through there, like a Tommaso Ciampa or a Matt Taven or a Warbeard Hansen, who's Ivar
Yes.
now, Damian Sandow at the time,
Yeah.
Darren Young,
Yeah.
Fred Sampson. So, I mean, clearly, I could go on and on and on and on, and the names speak for themselves. So that was kind of my first introduction into it, and then I was like, man, if I wanna really succeed at this, I got to go where these people have been, and that was the choice, man.
Exactly that. And obviously now we're going to talk NWA. Now it obviously hasn't been your first rodeo. You've been actually on some NWA before. You was in a Duval Brawl Battle Royal with the likes of Sal
Yeah.
Ronaldo and Crimson at that time. When it was then, that was back in 2022. We're now in mid
Yep.
2024, and I've been watching NWA probably about 18 months since Fiona got me. So Fiona used to post about it all the time on Twitter. So when I
Yeah.
started on the podcast, I said to her, like, is this reruns? Because I didn't know it's not me being horrible or anything. I didn't know that it was a thing.
Right. Right. Right.
And she was like, no, it's on YouTube and all of this. And I started watching it and I was like, wow, this is like old school. This is like, I was talking to Aaron about, they were winning matches with drop kicks in 2024. You don't,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't do that anymore. But what was
Yeah.
from your experience then to your more recent experience, how much has NWA come on in terms of production and everything else behind it?
Well, I actually started off even before the territories really became
Yeah.
a thing.
Yeah.
Uh, back with NWA. It was at I think they were just doing a joint show
Yeah.
with Elijah Burke
Yeah.
or Pope
Yeah.
and his company. Um, so it was like an kind of a I guess like a trial run of trying to see like how a territory kind of joint show would be outside of like a real traditional NWA taping.
Yeah.
Um, and that was with Pope and Pope knows me from my time at training with Al Snow and OVW.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I met Pope, he was like, I had just shown up, and he was like, "Oh, you're an OVW guy. All right, go call a match for you and Pope." You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he's always been super good to me and given me some good opportunities as well. And and I was able to be able to work with guys because I did well in my match against them. I was
Yeah.
able to work with guys in that battle royal, like with Crimson,
Yeah.
and I remember Pillman was there, but I don't think that he was Brian Pillman Jr. I don't think he was part of that match, but I remember that he was there, and a few guys like that. Um, so in terms of production, like I said, my how I came into it, it wasn't. It just more so had the NWA name behind it,
Yeah.
uh, in association with Pope's show, but it wasn't the whole production. It wasn't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm probably not the best person to answer that question, because I am fairly new, when it comes to actually being involved with NWA as a company, as you know, as the whole. Guy that has given me a lot of opportunity, and that was initially was Brian Idol.
Yes.
Um, and I know that he just signed his contract, and him and Natalia both.
Yeah.
And if there's anyone that is deserving of a contract, I would 1000% say it was Brian Idol, because just in the time that I've been there, he has been able to just elevate and build. I mean, I don't know if you watched the Adventures of Carneyland
Started.
on
Yeah.
Hulu,
Yeah.
or CW, excuse me.
Yeah.
Um, but yo, it's just it really is a testament to everyone's hard work, but in my personal opinion, Brian Idol and his vision, and someone like Billy Corgan, seeing that potential that Brian Idol has, and elevating, allowing him to kind of take the reins of promoting the shows, and his record speaks for itself. Even back to when he was promoting up in New York, and his shows in Tampa, he's always able to draw a crowd. He's always able to try to just make things better, and knows how to do that. And so with Brian Idol there especially, I know since I my first debut there in November of 2023 to now, I mean, you could see we have two new territory, or I think all the new territories,
Yeah.
because I don't think territories were a thing in November. And but specifically in Chicago and in NWA Tampa, um, both companies that Brian Idol oversees. And I think, like I said, I think that he is a main contributor of why that place and those territories especially are succeeding right now.
Excellent. Yeah, Brian's a great guy. I've just started watching Carneyland on it. We have to have it via
Yeah,
VPN over here. So obviously CW is landlocked
right.
in America. So for us to watch it, we've kind of been a bit naughty and get a VPN, but we do.
Yeah, yeah,
We have to for sure.
yeah.
As we start to wrap up here, it's been a great chat, by the way, and I've really enjoyed this.
I
In the
appreciate you
future,
having me.
yeah, in the future on NWA, if you get a chance, who's the guy? I mean, you mentioned Brian Idol, and there is a guy that gets mentioned a lot when I ask this question, but I won't answer it until you see if you say his name. But if you get when you start to get on the NWA and then talking to the territories, obviously you went back to the territories recently in a great show, and by all this sense, before I get to that question, actually, let me talk about that. You done at start, I
Yeah.
think it was the start of the month. You done the NWA Back to the Territories taping. Obviously,
Yep.
no spoilers. I don't want to know anything. I'll wait until it airs myself. But how much did you enjoy that at time, and did you get an opportunity to talk to the guys like Aaron and all the sort of experienced guys?
Yeah, I have always sought out um people that are I know are going to make me better. And that's why I went to go train, even though I was trained previously. That's why I was like, okay, I might be at like a C right now or a C plus, but like I know I can be an A plus.
Yeah,
I know I can be an A plus talent, and the way that I can get to that is putting the right people and seeking advice from the right people. And that's why I went to go train with Dr. Tom Pritchard. That's why I went to go train with Al Snow and work for them, and especially in locker rooms as well. I am the first one that's going to be trying to. You got not to mention any names, but you got a lot of people that that don't that are just comfortable where they're at.
Mm.
And that is not me, and not just in the sense of um not being on the platform that I want to be on, but just me as an individual and as a performer. I'm always wanting to get better. And so that's why I do pride myself on being the first one that's going to go up to an Aaron Stevens, that's going to go up to a Jack Stain or an EC3. Um, Trevor Murdoch is another great person that has, I mean, just a wealth of knowledge. And I don't know if it's maybe because I'm very comfortable being told, uh, "Shut up, Anthony, and let me do my thing." And I think that because I'm constantly trying to ask questions, I'm constantly trying to figure out something new and achieve what I want to achieve. And I understand that that's only going to happen if I put myself in those places or am able to start up that initial conversation. And I think that whether it's people are comfortable just kind of where they're at and just kind of or think that they're better than they are, or they just don't want to take that initial step and reaching out. But every interaction I've had and every question I've asked from an Aaron Stevens to a Trevor Murdoch has always been able to been answered and always there to help me. Um, and like I said, it's I remember Aaron specifically at my very first my very first show there in November. He pulled me and a couple other guys aside that were like on the main roster, and but he was like, like, I know that you're eager. I know that you want to learn, so why don't you come along as well? And just talking to us about um, taking those moments in between the moves, and not just I'm gonna do this move and I'm thinking about this move. No, you gotta do this move and figure out something that's going to uh, um, allow that move to be I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. Just something after the move. That's not another move.
Yeah. So like a
Something
look
that
or a pose or something like that.
1000%. Oh, 1000%. That's it. It's the John Cena five knuckle shuffle. You can't see me thing.
Yeah.
It's the Rock with the just bring it thing.
Yeah.
It's those little subtle things that I can't stand right here and do a rock bottom for you. But what I can do is do this, and everybody knows what that means. Or
Yeah.
I can't do an FU right here, but I can do this, and everybody knows who does that and knows what that means and who it's associated with. And those are the things that in Aaron Stevens especially showed me, and the locker room, in my personal opinion, is full of some of the best minds in wrestling, and because everybody that has been there, that is affiliated with them on a consistent basis, has been there at the highest level and in WWE and has succeeded in that time that they were there. Whether it was Trevor Murdoch, EC3. Like, everybody has succeeded and been there and have made the most of their time. And just the knowledge that they can provide to someone like me is just incredibly valuable. So
Definitely. So there's one Brit that I need to mention that you wrestled, I believe, earlier this year now.
okay.
Martin Stone.
Oh, Martin Stud, yeah, yeah,
Coastal
yeah,
Coastal Championship Wrestling. How was that experience
yep.
wrestling Martin Stone?
Man, Martin is a very physical dude, very physical. But it's that's another case of being able. I mean, the dude's been there and done that. And he did it for multiple years. He wasn't just in and out. He was there and doing it for multiple years. So, um, like I said, man, I've been just very fortunate to whether it's me being the guy that promoters want to put in the ring with those guys, or just falling into it, luck of the draw. I don't know, but taking advantage of those opportunities to work with someone like Martin Stone, work with people that I've mentioned previously, and just learn from them and seek their guidance and figured out what worked for them, but also being able to funnel it through, not just being like a yes man. Oh, okay, I'll do that. Yeah, that sounds great. But knowing the real art of it, in my opinion, is to be able to take what they have to say, but still funneling it and filtering it through the way that I see fit and my vision. Because if not, then it's just they've been there and done that. I'm just copying them,
Yeah,
and I pride myself on not being like everybody else. I pride myself on trying to be creative, trying to innovate, trying to do something new as Anthony Catena. And someone like an Al Snow, someone like a Martin Stone or a Dr. Tom are going to be able to help me um, find those things, but then being able to funnel it through my own vision. And so I really do appreciate all those opportunities that I've had with the people like that.
definitely so. And if you stay that humble, more will come. That's for sure. Last question
Appreciate
before we
that.
get
Yes,
wrap up,
sir.
before we get you to tell us where you're going to be and everything. The opportunity, just for argument's sake, your top three guys that you want to take on the NWA roster. I know you've mentioned maybe Brian, but a couple of others.
Yeah, yeah. It's there's a lot of good talent over there. I'm a personal fan of Joe Alonzo.
Oh,
I think that he is someone that knows how to push the envelope and knows how to create something out of nothing. And I think that that is a very uh, innate skill that you kind of just have to have. You can't learn that. He knows how to create something out of nothing, and people like that are the ones that I want to work with. So Joe Alonso, I don't know if he's number one, but he's the first person that jumped in my mind. Um, and however, I don't think that our paths are going to run across too many times. I have about a foot and a half taller than him, and and about 30, 40 pounds heavier than him. So, and I know that I believe that he's like the lightweight champion or something along those lines. So I don't know if we're going to be able to cross paths, but he's definitely on that list. Oh man, let's see. Put me on the spot here. I'd probably say I'd probably say just because I was born in Waxahachie, Texas, and when I was growing up, the dude that I always liked, and I know it's gonna sound crazy, but I was like 8 or 9 at the time. But the guy that I always liked, because he was they said he was from Waxahachie, Texas, was Trevor Murdoch when
yeah,
he was with Lance Cade.
yeah.
So I always like that's where I was born. So I was always kind of associated with him in my mind. So I think he would be on that list, and um, probably the first out of all of them though is EC3.
Yeah.
He's the standard bearer right now. He's the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and I don't I 100% complete, put my heart into this and unfiltered. I know that I'm on that scale as well. And I know that I could be the NWA champion and represent the company right now. And and I truly believe that. And it's just a matter of getting that opportunity. So, and when that opportunity comes, I'll be ready. So, obviously, he's the standard bearer right now, and I don't see too much of a difference in someone like that and someone like myself. The only difference is the fact that he's been able to get that opportunity to win that championship. So when the time comes around for me, I'll be ready to go.
Interestingly enough, you didn't mention a name. I thought everyone else has mentioned Tom Latimer as the name of
Tom, man, no, the only reason why I didn't mention Tom is because I don't want to look small. He's too
it.
dang, he's too dang big, dude, and he's too tan. I have to go to tanning bed like every single day to try and match him from a physique standpoint, from a tan standpoint, and he's got two badass of hair. Like I would just be like a couple notches below him on every single category. So that's one reason why I didn't mention him.
Fair, fair, fair. And by the way, for anyone that hasn't watched Power this week, Joe Alonso, Jack Cartwheel, just watch it. That's
Oh
all.
yeah.
That is all I'm going to say. Just watch it. As we're wrapping up now, Anthony, tell us. Look, what have you got coming up? Where are you? And if you are available bookings, how can people contact you?
Yeah. No, I appreciate it, Adam. I'm available for bookings. You can either hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, DM me on X. It's so weird to say that.
I know.
Even like a year later, it's still weird to say that.
Still
So
Twitter
just
to me,
DM
damn it.
me. Exactly. I mean, what am I supposed to say? Hey, and go retweet this, go re-X this. I don't know.
I don't know.
Um, but yeah, no, DM me. And also you can reach out to my email. And I believe that I have it up on my platforms as well. My email address is anthony.catena@yahoo.com, and you spell my last name Catena. And what I've got coming up is let's see, I just finished out my weekend. I was at NWA Tampa, one of the territory show with Idol, and IWC. Got some good stuff going on there. Um, I've got I'm gonna be down at Rodney Mack's
Ooh.
school, the dog or promotion, Dog Pound Championship Wrestling, for their TV tapings this Sunday. And I'm actually getting ready as well. One thing that it's kind of something new, but I used to do it when I was younger, but I've just gotten back into it. Is I Taekwondo, and I'm getting ready
Okay.
for nationals as well. With that, I competed at regionals. I qualified for nationals, and nationals is gonna be in 2 weeks. So I'm still busting my ass trying to cram like 5 years of training in like 4 weeks. Um, but if I place in nationals, then I'll have a chance to qualify for the Olympic team. So I'm a natural athlete, so I'm able to pick up on stuff pretty quickly. And then right after that, though, that's the first weekend of July. But right after that, I'm gonna be kind of breaking news a little bit here. I'm gonna be going out to Mexico for the first
Wow.
time, and I got two companies that I'm working for out there, and one of them is affiliated with the Crash, so which is a very very well off company over there in the Tijuana area. And so I'm going to be there for about 2 weeks and 2 week tour. And if all goes well, I've been told that it's going to turn into a couple months and then maybe even a little bit more than that. So like I said, I got a lot of cool stuff coming up working for NWA. And some of the territories and now going out to Mexico is definitely a bucket list item for me. And then yeah, man, just living my best life. So
Exactly. We wish you all the best of luck in all of that for
I
certain.
appreciate that.
I just need to run a few things that we've got coming up. I'll try not to bore you too much with it, but I do have.
No. You give me enough time to talk. So by all means.
Brilliant. We've got some more talking territories coming up with Ashton Day. He's coming up very, very soon as well. We've also got the legendary Jazz coming on the show, someone big from NWA,
Oh
which
wow,
we're looking
awesome.
forward to. Soon, very soon, I can't give you a date at the moment because we're still working through diaries, but the NXT, not the NXT, the TNA Knockouts champion Jordan Grace will be joining us, as will, fun enough, EC3 be coming back on the show very, very soon. He's already been on once. He's coming back on again. And I just need to plug one more thing. July the 14th over here in the UK in Boreham Wood, the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast will be partnering once again with Ignite Wrestle Pro to put on our second co-promoted show called Buckle Up 2. We put on one last year. It sold out. This one is on the verge of selling out as well, which will also feature our very own men's Hitting the Turnbuckle Championship being defended on that show itself. We have already announced some big UK names. I don't know if Luke Jacobs was in progress when you was there, Anthony, but he will be on the show, as will G Money will be on the show. Funnily
Oh
enough.
man, talk about a dude that's like open to kind of trying anything and knows how to get it over.
Yeah.
Like Gene Money is one of those hidden gems that again nobody. It's like one of those Josh Abercrombie names. Nobody really talks about him, but man, is he innovative and man, can he get stuff over? I love him. Every interaction I've had with him, he's been super cool.
Yeah, he very much so is. He'll be in the World Championship match on the card as well as a triple threat match between him, Tommy Kyle, and Adonis Payne. But Anthony, it's been fantastic talking to you. I'm looking forward to seeing what's next. I will be keeping an eye out. And hey, if you are over here and we're right and we've got a show going with Ignite, who knows, we may see you
Yeah,
with us. We'll keep a lookout. Maybe back at Progress
absolutely.
as well. I'll mention. Well, Lee will know this is going out because we tag him in it all, so he will see it. That's for sure.
I didn't rep this for any reason, Lee, other than I want to get booked back at Progress.
There
So
you go. In a bit more of a wrestling thing in terms of a murder mystery, though, maybe.
yeah, exactly. Please, I'm fine being the murderer again, but let me get in the ring and show you what I can do.
Exactly that for sure. Anthony, it's been great talking to us. I wish you the very best of luck going forward. Guys, he has been Anthony Catena. I have been your host, Adam Cousins, and you have been watching the NWA Talking Territories program on the Hitting the Turnbuckle podcast. And until next time, everybody, buckle down, stay safe, and good night.